Hi, I'm Paul Clark from Red Moon Software, and today I'm going to demo to you the Watch plugin for Jira Cloud, formerly known as Project Watcher. This plugin has many features. These include the ability to watch a project. For instance, if you had an interest in a particular component and you wanted to know about notifications for that component, you could say, when an issue is of component X, let me know when comments are added. So it's quite powerful, lots of conditions you can add, and also define who the user is as well, which can be handy when training other users. Also, there is add watcher rules, which allows you to set up rules which will automatically add a watcher to an issue. So you could say that if it's a highest priority bug, then you want to be a watcher on it, and that will automatically set that up either when it's created or when it's modified. There's also the ability to set up a watcher field in the create issue screen. This allows you to enter in watches when you're creating the issue, just a convenience time saver type feature. We also have time watches, which is a way of scheduling notifications based on particular criteria. For instance, you might want to be notified that issues with the highest priority bug that have been open for a week, you may want to get a notification telling you about this so you can follow up on it. Or you may want daily reminders to say, let the assignee know that they've opened an issue ready to start work, but they haven't logged any work against it. So maybe they've forgotten to do this, so a little notification can be a handy little reminder. And you can also do notifications, say 5 days before a due date is coming up, so that the user knows that this is due soon and it needs to be finished. The configuration for the plugin has two different parts. The first part I'll talk about is the project tab access. We have several tabs underneath the project add-ons, and this controls who has access to that. So you can either have it as only project administrators or all users, depending on your preference. The other option here is to set up a watches field for within the create issue screen. To do this, you need to have set up a custom field, just a normal Jira custom field that is a multi-user field. Once you've done that, you can come in here, click on Set Watches Field, select the field, which I've just called Watches in this case, then click Set Up Watches Field. The next part is you need to go to the project and set up this for the create screen. Now, if I go to the project I want to have the watches field in, select screens. Now for this, I need to edit both of these, or all of these. I'll just do one for the moment. Go in, and we have a list of all the fields that appear within the create screen. If I scroll to the bottom and select watches, and the watches will appear in the create screen. If I now go on to create a new issue, to scroll to the bottom, see that I have a watches field now. And in Chad, Hit save. Change to that, and you'll see that I have Chad added as a watcher. The Add Watch Rules page will allow you to add watches onto actual issues themselves. So you go into a particular project, add-ons, and then add watcher rules. This is the sort of opposite of what we're doing with the watches for the project. We're actually having physical watches added. If I go in and add a rule, front-end components, this is just a name to identify it with. We have enabled here. If this is checked, then the watcher will be added as a rule. If it's not, then it won't fire. So I'm going to add in Chad. And here we have a checkbox which says that we only want to fire this rule in an instance when we create a new issue. If I have that selected, then only Chad will be only added as a watcher for new issues. If I have it unchecked, it will be for new issues and for modified issues. So you just have to remember with modified issues, if someone meets the criteria, they're added as a watcher. If you remove them as a watcher, they will be added back in next time it's modified because the rule still applies. We have current user is, so we could say the current user is equal to Paul, then this rule will fire. Instead we're going to say that the component is equal to front end. So every time we have a change or a new Jira issue created with a component front end, then Chad will be added as a watcher. Now, as you can see, I have a test issue here. There is only one watcher, and that's me. Now, the component isn't currently set to front end. I will set that to front end. Save that, give it a second before reloading the page, and as you can see here, we now have Chad as a watcher. So not immediate, but within a few seconds of it being changed. Now if I remove Chad from this, as I was saying before, and I say hello as a comment, reload the page, you'll see that Chad has been added back as the watcher because it still meets the criteria, namely a component of front end. The watches screen underneath a particular project, add-ons, watches. This allows you to define a watch for a particular project. So you want to be notified of things that go on with that project, but you don't want to be added as a individual watcher on all those issues. This has many benefits. If you want to watch a particular type of issues or changes and you're going off on holiday, you can disable this and you won't get any more notifications. Re-enable when you come back. You can set up notifications based on a user, say a trainee, so that you can follow what they do for a few weeks to make sure that they are okay. And you can also come in and assign different users or more users or different groups without having to go through and modify the watches on particular issues. And here we have a watcher. I'm just going to add in high priority. The This is just a brief description so that you know what it stands for. We have enabled here. You'll get a notification if it's enabled. If it's not enabled, then you won't get a notification. We have conditions. You can either have a current user condition, say the user is Chad, if Chad is the new trainee. You can also add in field values. You're given a list of fields and you can say what the values are. I'm going to say priority is highest. You can have multiple of these, but they are tested as an AND. So the current user is Chad and the priority equals highest. So all of them have to be true before you will get notified. For this, I'll just use the priority. And down here we say what we want to be notified for. So we can say we want to be notified for adding and editing comments, creating issues, deleting issues, all sorts of things. So for the purpose of this, I'll just click on all of them. Next, we have notification type. We have email or in Jira. In Jira, I'll come to later, but we'll just look at email at the moment. Okay, we say we want to email Chad. And I've got multiple users here, or I can also put user groups here if the whole group wants to be notified. We've put a subject prefix, WI. Now, if there's a prefix already defined within the admin screen for Jira itself, that will appear before this prefix. We also have compact subject. You may have noticed at the top here, we have a mode. It's set to basic at the moment. This determines what is shown. So if we change that to advanced mode, you'll see now we have a exclude for users field. So users we don't want to get the email, and plus a list of extra fields we want to get for more information when the notification is sent out. For the purpose of this, I'll just set it to basic. Save that. I'll quickly add another one. I'm going to do it basically the same as before, but this time we will set it up to be a different type of notification type, in Jira notification. Now we have a gadget for the dashboard. This allows you to look through notifications. It won't be sent out to you, though instead you'll be able to view them within Jira and mark them as read or delete them as such. Set that to 4. So if there's any type of an event for a priority of highest, then Chad will get an email and Paul Clark will get an in Jira notification for these. Here we can see the dashboard gadget for my notifications. So you can see there is a issue created. We've got particular fields here which we can see more of or less of. And I can then click on that to mark it red, to de-highlight it, delete it, mark all of them as red, unread, delete them all. And this checks probably every about 5 minutes during the day, and overnight about every 15 minutes. You can force it to check now by clicking check now. This will speed things up, but generally 5 minutes is the minimum it does, and at this stage that's not configurable either. Here are some examples of the emails sent out from the documentation page. We have issue created here at the top. When that's assigned and had a status changed. Comment added. Here's the additional details that can be shown. Timed watches allow you to schedule notifications or emails based on a particular JQL query. For each of those issues returned from that JQL query, either an email will be sent to one or more recipients, or a comment will be added to the issue. Now, if I click on Add to add a new one, the Time Watcher entry screen allows you to set up 3 different types of Time Watcher. One based on days of the week, another based on day of the month, and a third based on a cron expression. Also, we have different modes we can enter this in. At the moment, this is in basic mode. So you can see we have the various fields here. Now, if I change that to advanced, we get additional fields displayed in here. I'll explain those in a bit more detail soon, but let's go about entering some details. Now, to say for a simple example, I want to set up a reminder to update the physical Scrum board. So when someone's basically done their work, they need to move it across the physical board so that they don't forget. Now, I can enter a notification title here if I want to send an email out. But we can also have comments. So for this, I'll just set it up. So we'll have an email first, and then I'll change to a comment later, just to let you know how it's done. For this case, I don't actually, aren't going to enter anything because I want the same text as is in the description. By leaving this blank, it automatically defaults to the description. Now, if I come in here and I enter some JQL, you'll notice on the left, just here, it's forcing this to be related only to this project. So project equals test, which is the name of this project, is always put in front of your JQL query. Now, if I say that the status equals and updated date is greater than equal to -1 day, it will say that the current issue status is done and is no more than a day old. So if I run a test on that, that was successful, and at the moment we have one issue that would be notified about. Now, if I want this every day, I can say so I'll set that to 6 p.m. and click for the assignee. So this will mean that an email was sent for all those issues that have a status of done and an updated date of no more than a day old. This is checked every day at 6 p.m. and an email is sent to the assignee. Now, if I just want to put a comment on here, I can say, please in this case, at 6 p.m. every night, it will find all those that are done less than a day and add a comment to the bottom of it. That comment will in turn cause a notification to be sent out, just a normal adding a comment notification through Jira, and any watchers will receive that. So there's 2 different ways you can do things. If you do a comment, then the notification title is not required. You can also do days of the month for frequency. So we can say 6 p.m. on the first weekday of the month, the last day of the month, last weekday of the month, or a particular day of the month, like the 7th. Same applies for the recipients. This doesn't really change for days of the month. You can also enter a cron expression. So we can say that every midnight this will run. So 0 hours, 0 minutes. 0 minutes and 0 hours. This will cause the watcher to run and send off the appropriate notification or add a comment, or both. For those who want to add a bit more to the email itself, you can go to advanced mode. In here we can add a notification message. The email is structured such that we have a title, named the notification title, we have a message, and then we have some details about what is in the issue. Summary, priority, status. Now in here we can say, please this for issue, and we can, since this is actually treated like a velocity template, if you don't know what velocity is, then you probably won't want to use this. Then I can go like that, and that will get me the issue key. So my key is test-53. Then this will say, please do this for the issue test-53. Now, emails generally can be for HTML or text recipients. So it pays to do both just in case, if you're not too sure. Jira actually allows you to say that you only want notifications within a text format, and this will cater for those people. Where up here I could say, put some bold tags around that. Oops. But you don't do it in the text version. This is just a nice way of adding a bit more to the message itself and personalizing it to the issue. If you go to our website, you can see a list of the variables you can use within these messages. And also down here, we have the ability to add other recipients. Now, these emails are sent off one per person, so one per issue. So the person will get multiple if they're due. So I can say that Chad will get them, and I can also say that all Jira administrators will also get this email. So it's just flexibility in how you do things. And the details for this is outlined here, the cron expression and the next run date. Now, when it is actually run, when that date goes past, I can click on the little clock symbol, and this will give me a history of the last 50 entries, where each entry is kept up to 2 weeks old. It will also show any errors that may have occurred during running of it. And you'll also right here have a last for the underneath run, which will have the date that it last run at. That's it for the demo today. I hope that was helpful. Please contact me if you have any questions. Also, if you think there's some features missing that you'd like, drop me a line as well. If I think they're good for the plugin, then I'll add them for free. Thank you.